So that was my best impression of Nicholas Latifi and Lance Stroll's personalities combined into one. I think I did pretty well. I'm expecting my nomination for an Academy Award any minute now, according to my watch. So, yeah, I did my best. So what is going on, you maggots, Becketts, and Chapels? Welcome to the Apex F1 channel, and to all the new faces here with us now, I'd like to say welcome. Happy to have you here, and I hope you enjoy the stuff I'm going to be putting up for you. Now, that opening was a perfect segue transition into what we're going to be talking about today, almost as if I planned it specifically for this video. Huh. You don't say. We're going to be talking about the two Canadian boys in F1 as of today, and I think I in particular have a pretty interesting perspective on the matter because I'm Canadian. If you couldn't, you probably couldn't because it's a Canadian hockey team, but it's fine. Just move on. There's not many F1 drivers in history from Canada, so the times we do get a driver in the sport, it's important, and it's important for that driver to represent the country of Canada, because I think it's a very nice place to live, lots of friendly people, very, multicultural, everything. It's just a beautiful place to live, and I love living here. I'm biased, but it's my favorite country in the world, and I don't think these two represent this country well at all, and we're going to be getting right into that right now. I want to start this off by saying I'm in no means going to go into the background of these two. I don't want to delve into their old statistics and old stats and whatnot, but there's two videos out there that do that very well. Josh Ravel and Tommo F1 both have fantastic videos on this subject matter in terms of the history and whatnot. So I'll link those two up in the card above. But I'm basically going to be giving my perspective in the matter of representing Canada and what I think that these two do to bring Canada into the sport of F1, because I'm going to be real here. It is a very unpopular sport where I live. We've got basketball, obviously with the Raptors, hockey, baseball, kind of soccer, football, but those are kind of the big sports here, and F1 just hasn't been able to penetrate a market here, which is upsetting, because I have no one to talk to about it outside of like two friends, which is kind of sad. So some quick Canadian facts about these two. First of all, starting with Lance Stroll. He is from Montreal, Quebec. He has 62 starts, a single podium in Azerbaijan 2017, and 67 total career points. And then we have Nicholas Latifi, who is also from Montreal, Quebec, but I believe also did live in Toronto, Ontario for just a little bit. His F1 history is, nothing as of now, but he did come second in the 2019 F2 championship with a few wins and a couple podiums sprinkled in to that one as well. So to me, it's very important that any Canadian that gets into the F1 paddock, it is kind of on their shoulders to bring the sport to Canada. And I'm just not seeing that whatsoever. With at least, Jacques and Gilles Villeneuve, they were talented, fast drivers. Jacques won a title. That is a huge deal. And he obviously had a lot of personality. He is, maybe too much personality for some people, but at least he kind of, brings some excitement into the sport, and being from Canada, it kind of puts some eyeballs onto us. And obviously we can't talk about either of these two guys without talking about the big green squiggly and line elephant in the room, which is the fact that yes, they are both paid drivers. Now, I don't have a problem with paid drivers in the general sense of the term. There's been plenty of paid drivers in F1's history that have turned out to be just fine. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. But the problem I have with Lance in particular is he's a fine driver. He's perfectly, good at what he does. He just needs to get that qualifying performance up. I think if he does that, I wouldn't mind him as much. But my biggest problem is his daddy bought the team and put him in the car, saying that he was, the best pick on merit, which no, he's not. But that is the definition of nepotism. That is giving his son the drive because he owns the team. I can say, in 2017, when Lance got the podium in Azerbaijan, I was ecstatic, because that first year he was in the car, I was so pumped to have a Canadian driver on the grid. I was like, all these other European countries and in South America, they've all had their chance, but now it's finally time to have another Canadian on the grid. And I was absolutely stoked when he did the shoey with Ricardo. I was really excited that he was going to be able to continue on with that and kind of grow as a driver, but ever since it's just been kind of just a flat line of progression. We haven't seen him really step up to the plate. And now getting into Nicholas Latifi, he's more of a, traditional pay driver. His daddy didn't buy the team, but he is bringing in a lot of money to Williams this year. And obviously, Williams is in that spot where they kind of need the extra cash flow. I mean, especially with the whole situation right now. I believe it's around $30 to $40 million that Latifi is bringing into the team with all of his sponsors and everything. So again, I don't have a problem with that. I completely understand that Formula One is a business of money, and it is extremely important to have money to, develop your car. And obviously they ran out. They were in a bit of a pickle, so they brought in Latifi, and now they have money again. The only problem is they need to kind of take that money and put it into a car that works. And I think they have. I think they have brought in a car into the 2020 grid that is, maybe going to be competitive with the back end of the midfield. Is it going to be a massive step up? I don't believe so, but as long as they kind of put strides in place to slowly improve over time, I think that's perfectly fine. Obviously, yes, Canada does have the race in Montreal, which was probably going to go to this year, but that's not happening now, so kind of sucks. But that's the only race we have, and it's in Montreal. It's a city where, I'm going to be honest, most of the rest of Canada kind of hates. I mean, I know a lot of people who don't know Canada very well don't know this, but all the other provinces, and then you've got Quebec and Montreal, and no one really likes them. I mean, I'm not part of that group. I love all of Canada. I think it's a beautiful place, as I've stated before. But in terms of the general consensus, it's a very disliked part of the country, and not a lot of people want to go there to go to a race unless they're already fans of F1 and they know that it's, happening in Montreal. So I think one of the biggest things that outside of Stroll and Latifi, it would be huge for Toronto to have an F1 race. I'm not saying that Canadians love Toronto. If you're in like New Brunswick right now, I'm sorry. I know you hate Toronto, but it's fine. It would be a huge deal to have a race down there. We already have an IndyCar race in Toronto on Lakeshore. That would be awesome to have a race, in the biggest city in the country. It would draw a lot of eyeballs, a lot of attention, and it would be an absolutely massive deal for Canada to bring in and start grooming F1 talent. Because I'm going to be honest with you, whenever I listen to Lance Stroll just kind of do an interview, I'm just like slowly starting to and then I just kind of come back and realize his hair is absolutely insane, and I want to know what conditioner he's using, but it's crazy. I really don't think that these two represent the country itself very well. And I think without having any talent in the sport right now, it's not going to have any, kids aspire to be Formula One drivers. Right now, they're aspiring to be hockey players or basketball players, especially with the success that the Toronto Raptors have had. So I think it's never going to change until someone is able to break into the sport that has that star quality like the Verstappens or the Leclercs. And as of right now, I unfortunately just don't see that happening because it's a very long journey to get there. And I think without the power and the star power now, no kids are going to want to do it. So I think that about wraps up my general thoughts on these two. Obviously, again, I really do hope that they're able to break in and become better drivers and, bring more attention to the sport in Canada. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed, but my doubts pretty high. I do hope that they are able to break in just a little bit more. But I want to say thank you again, guys, for watching. Thank you to all the new faces who are now here with us. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to lick the stamp, send that subscribe button, tap the notification bell, like and comment down below what you think. What do you think of my opinions here? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.